All right, guys, BSH live stream here with another episode, September 19th. Big episode here, public stream. Super excited to have everybody see what we do weekly here for our BSH group. Lots of giveaways, some great guests, phenomenal panel, lots of brilliant minds here in the sneaker industry, and not just in the buying part, but in the selling part and the acquisition, the development, a lot of creation. We've just got a great crew on here for you two guys today, and we're excited to share with you our products. So let's get going, Brandon. What you got for us?
So I think we should just probably introduce ourselves and how we started and how we, I guess, our philosophies, so people could get a pretty good sense of like what standpoint we're coming from. So I guess I'll start off. Like I started this group with Matt back in last June, and from what it's turned into, like I'm extremely proud of how it's become, but of what it's become. But I guess my philosophy when I buy and sell is acquire as much product as I can for retail, and then try and just sell whatever I can to cover costs. And then typically I'll hold whatever it is that I want to hold until the holidays, and that's usually my target. I'll try and cover my costs, say in June, and hold that shoe as much as I can until say November, December, depending on the sneaker. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for at least the last 2 years. But again, that's the beauty of the group is we either have so many people on the panel all the time or bring people in that all have different perspectives and do different things. So people could, relate to one of us and get an idea of how they should model their own inventory based on what we do. So whoever else wants to take over from here, go for it.
Yeah, I can go next. All right, so my Twitter and Instagram handle is Los Angeles. I started reselling maybe in 2014. I am very different from Brandon. I sell most of my stuff locally, either through consignment or just meeting up with people. I am notorious for long holds. I have my methodology for Yeezys, for Jordans, so a different method than the rest of the group takes. I also tend to sell higher than 95% of our current market in a lot of value. And just like I am very numbers focused, so everything I look at is based on the spreadsheet I built on everything. And we're at for Los Angeles, we're over 3,000 shoes sold this year so far. And I don't bot, so everything is either secondary market buys, retail buys, or people looking out for me.
What's up, guys? My name is Giannis. People might know me as Papa Smurf. Kind of the opposite of Glaus. I got my start in botting. I've been doing shoes for 7 years now. Definitely approaching it from the botting perspective, just kind of buy. My methodology for the longest time was just buy, flip as quick as I can, reinvest into the next release. I've started investing in the aftermarket now, and I found BSH to be a great tool as a member, and so I ended up joining the team this year, and I couldn't be happier. It's just a great experience.
All right, Matt, then Coach, and then we can just get rocking. So,
what's going on, everyone? My name's Matt. I've been doing shoes as well since I think 5-6 years now. Co-owner of Site Supply and Rush, and sell majority of my shoes through mostly China, but a decent amount of consignment stuff. So, should be a really good, interesting stream. Hope you guys enjoy.
Sell some through me too. Don't forget.
Yeah, Gloss too.
Yeah.
Gloss consignment.
Gloss consignment.
Coming 2021. Right,
coming 2021. No, and I'm Coach. I've been around the scene for a while. I came from a much different background of these guys. A good friend of ours, Swoosh, let me into his group, Dead Stock Brokers, back in the day, about 4 years ago, and gave me the opportunity to network and work my way up. I'm a former professional poker player, played the highest stakes possible online for a good 9 years until they shut it down. Played in the World Series multiple years. So I come from a strong data background and really took a lot of my data analysis into the buying and selling of shoes and various products. Also a real estate agent, also have a master's degree in education. So I'm kind of all over the place, and I sell mostly a mix of everything that you just heard from those guys. Sometimes I'll sell to a bulk buyer. Sometimes I'm consigned. Sometimes I'm chasing bricks and selling on apps. And sometimes I'm chasing big releases. So I look for value in every different way possible. I think one of the strengths of our group has been our mix of analytics with on-the-ground operations, with people like Gloss who give us a good base understanding of, things that we might not understand, like me and Papa being online a lot, Brandon being an online buyer a lot. Matt's all over the place doing all of it. But, I think that's the real value from our group is the perspective that we have. So we're going to kind of just move into what we do on normal streams. Normally, obviously, we don't have introductions, which we just kind of roll in to stuff about our group. So we're going to kind of just show a little bit about that. Brandon, Papa, one of you guys want to run with that?
Yes. So basically, we've definitely had our low points, and those are what we really wanted to acknowledge, because I think if we didn't have our low points back in, you could go back to October last year. I don't think we would have learned from all that and then been nearly as good this year. So you could see on here the easy slide, but that's Siri. Okay, great. No, you could see easy slide. That's one that we consistently nailed. And when I say we, I really mean Gloss. He really brought those to light for all the members. So Gloss, you want to talk a little bit about that? Because I kind of want to be the one to talk about the SBs. So.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, if you guys remember last year, taking it back, the desert boots dropped and nobody wanted them in September. But locally, I had crazy demand for them. They were selling over $400 at consignment here. And it dropped too early. But by the time that people wanted them, the market had dried up. So if you had them in hand and on StockX, they were only $230, $240, and there was huge demand there. So what ended up happening was that there was that arbitrage value and everything was crazy. Then with slides, I saw the same thing happen. It dropped in December and they were sitting. Like you could buy them on Yeezy Supply. And then in January, they were still sitting, but locally there was some demand brewing, even though it was the wrong time. And we talk about on our streams a lot, seasonality. And that's why I threw the call in here, because the seasonality at $55 retail, you could sell them on eBay at the time for $110, $120. And as you saw when they re-released in April and everything came from there, they were as high before this restock at $400 in some places for bone and desert sand and everything with that. So it was just something we saw early, and a lot of the calls we make are not your stereotypical, whole Jordan 1s or Zions are a good buy. We're trying to find value in our group in places where everybody's looking one way and we're trying to look the other way. And we nailed it with slides the first time with the buying them on the first release before they took them off the site in March. Then in April, we went all in on them then, and then we said to sell them mainly because of seasonality. We hit it right before this bone restock, the suit and the core, that to sell it off then because we wanted to move. We were saying to allocate that money into a new product, like if it's going back to desert boots, if it's going back to whatever the new winter shoe is, that slide demand would die down. And you could see that in our calls that we've made in the last 6 months.
And that was, something to be clear too. That was a call. Our sell call was before the restock, before there was even a rumor announced of the restock. It was just something that we realized is exit. This graphic's great. You're not going to hit buy and sell perfects. We're showing you a great one, but we're going to show you a bad one too. But this one, I think, really plays well to the seasonality theme that we talk about a lot in our streams that Gloss is going on. And, you're going to get this type of advice. I mean, where did this advice come from, guys? Didn't we send this on our free webhook?
Oh, yeah. So that's another interesting thing that I think Gloss and Coach, you could take a ton of credit for. You could take all the credit for it, because I'll be honest, I was a little against it at the beginning, and now I love it. The free webhook call, if you guys are a group owner and just want to incorporate, the call of the week or whatever else that we do, we send out to other groups. There's the free option of, just getting the webhook, and that's, one call a week, but there's also other options if you want to message us and get BSH features in your group. We're more than happy to work something out with a bunch of group owners. So yeah, that was a great call. I want to say in a way we kind of got lucky with them restocking literally 2 days after. The announcement came 2 days after, but that was great. That was, I think we nailed it at every single point. So and then in this one I could say with certainty we definitely did not nail it at every single point. But this is one where I think we learned by far the most from. So we kind of got caught up in the hype. I loved these when they were 300 after the release. Then they went to 400. I was too much of a B word. I don't know if we could curse on this thing to make it. I probably will anyway. But to make a call at 300, they went to 4. They went to 450. We said buy them all at 450. Big mistake. One that I could say with certainty we wouldn't make again. So we took the quote unquote L on that. I still have my pairs, but this is where we didn't give up on it. So I want to say in December, they went all the way down to, let's say, I think 250 range, right? We said buy more. They went a little bit back down, maybe to the 200 range in April. And we said, all right, this is like a really great opportunity. Gloss and Coach really were the ones that brought this home. And if you invested, again, lowered your average cost and took the call for itself and not what the shoe was, it was more of a thing of where is this going rather than where has it been. And now you're up over 50% if you invested in April, and close to like 33% if you invested in December. So yeah, we learned a lot from this one. I'm sure you guys have a ton to say about it, but that was one where again, I'm just happy it happened because we're not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about that, and I took a big piece in that call as well, so huge blame on me. But I've tweeted about it before. I'm not concerned with making mistakes as much as I am fixing them, and that call dictated so much from our learning as a group. And I think one of the biggest parts about our group is that, and we've had this feedback a lot, whether it's in streams, whether it's in chat, is that our members love how we have a stake in the game. We're honest, with how we're doing and what we're investing in. And we're honest with the rotations we have to make. You're going to get a lot of real life problems in our streams where we're going to break down, sometimes I'll shoot up some inventory issues that I might have. And then we break them down and we see where we might have made a mistake on a call or where we maximize a call. But, you're going to get authenticity from us. And I think this Supreme call is a great example of it. And we learned a lot. I mean, it was a big mistake. A lot of us lost money off of it. But that said, since then, it's not about how, it's corny, but it's true. It's not about, how you get knocked down. It's about how you get up. And we bounce back hard. We're learning daily from this. And our calls just get better and better. So.
Yeah, and just real quick to go back to the Supreme Dunks, for the Supreme calls I make each week, I put that in there on May 13th. And one thing, it's easy for us to make calls, but we also put some skin into it. Like when we made the call about Supreme Dunks, if I'm looking at my sheet right now, I bought 24 pairs when I made that call. So it's things that we as a group are investing in. So you can see that we're not just saying calls and then say, oh, well, we didn't do it. But it's things that we believe in ourselves that we talk about that we put into the group.
Speaking of, someone got some stacks of metallic purples around here. One of y'all, probably Brandon. He's our GR king.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm more than happy to talk about this one. This one, this one's a thriller, if I'm being completely honest. So basically, this shoe released, it was, if Siri pops up one more time. Yep, that's great. So it was a weekday release, and most people were kind of on it, but I think the general consensus among groups, especially at that time, was buy it and quick flip. Sorry, I don't like that term. Buy it and sell it quickly, and just lock in your profits. So I thought there was a little bit more to this shoe, and as well as Gloss and basically everyone else. That was a great call for us, because what we did was we said, yeah, if you want to buy it and sell it quickly, that's great. I would do that for sure. But there will be an opportunity down the line where if you don't end up selling it quickly, you could easily hold these, and these will be one of the better holds of the year. So what I did was I kind of did both perspectives, and you'll see how it kind of plays in for me. Like I said at the beginning, what I did was I sold, I want to say about 25, 30% of my pairs just to help recoup some of the money, so I didn't have to lay out all that money for all those pairs. Made 10, 20% on those, and then held the rest. And I've been gradually scaling out. And when I say gradually, I'm talking about selling like maybe 1 or 2 pairs a week. And I still have tons of pairs left between men and GS. there was numerous times where we said, like, that's one of the best buys, especially the grade school pairs, because you could have picked up pairs at 200. They're at 300 now, and it's been, 2 months? So that was great. Big thanks to Gloss for persuading me even more than I was. And that was a really good one for a lot of members too. Like, I know for a fact a lot of people are holding a lot of pairs, which one pair could have easily paid for your membership for 5 months. So just saying. I mean,
it's kind of part of the value. I think that the group brings is it's a cheap group, so it's not hard to get the value out of it. I mean, and that's one thing that'll never change for us. We find alternative ways to monetize what we're doing as a group, just so that we can keep it down for our members and make it a no-brainer for them to keep, rolling with us.
Gloss, what about you? What are you thinking? Then we're going to get, basically, we'll talk about this, and then next we're going to get to a few guests we're going to have on. Some mods going to basically like a normal call of what we would do. And then, of course, we'll have that more very special guest coming around, after that. And
got the current market stuff going on. It's been some interesting price movement with, all these shoes recently dropping, the 700s, the Unions. Unions got some crazy price action going on with them even as we speak. So, yeah, lots to cover.
Yeah. I mean, just, Brandon, since you asked, I mean, with Metallic 4s, with the purple, we knew because of the way that the green ones from 04, I think, have just gained so much hype from Instagram and everything over recent years that make the purple look nice, and it was pretty limited comparatively to other releases in that time. And with stores being closed, it just seemed like a slam dunk, and that's why we were on it and made sure our group knew that it was a great buy.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, too, it was pretty, like we talked about on the stream, and, one of the things you can see in the group is you always have access to all the streams. They're always loaded up, and we put footnotes up and try and just add stuff of that nature so that you guys can have easy access to it. But, we were talking about as well, like it was clearly going to bang from size 6 to 7 from a girl's perspective as well. We were seeing that huge 6 to 7 demand during that time period. If y'all remember, that's when some of the mids and some of the grade or the grade school ones were really starting to shoot in 6 to 7, and people were kind of confused, like, why is this happening? We had all that money coming in from the government, all that stimulus money coming in, which made a lot of people want to, just grab and flip that shoe, I mean, and that was a logical perspective. We'd come off the DMPs. Those were an easy banger. The Fire Reds were an easy banger. Those were volume GR flips. So the metallics seemed to fit that mold. But, at the same time, we noticed some unique features about it, as well as the fact that it was clearly going to be bought by both men and women. And I think that really pushed a lot of the growth we're seeing with the metallic purple since we made that call back in May. I mean, it wasn't ever going to be some big spike shoe. It was just going to be a shoe that slow grew and was nice and consistent and something that a lot of people dumped off, trying to take the volume profit route. You'll see a lot of those things happen, but I mean, that's why it's so important to pay attention to market trends, because everybody's going to play these, I say cars almost. Everybody's going to play these shoes the same way. And, so when you can find spots to adjust on the market, adjust on what the buyers are doing, adjust on what your own sellers you're selling against are doing, you can maximize profits a lot of times. And a lot of people don't realize that with shoes. Kind of some things we analyze in our calls that, your basic call is not going to cover.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great way to put it. And we talk about that stuff every week on all of our calls.
So where are we moving?
So let's go to, I'm kind of proud of this one. So let's go to the Fragment 3s. And again, we're going to have a few guests coming on in a minute. So
wish we could show your video clip, man. That would.
Yeah, I know. I wish we could, but I was not high on this shoe at all. People on Facebook were somehow had like the audacity to charge $1,400 for these, and people had the audacity to pay it. So okay, that's great. I was not big on these. This was one where I said, look, if you're hitting these, you sell it immediately, and if you sold it that day, you're up over 200 from where you could have sold it now in basically every single size. And that's one where when pairs start to come in, it sucks because I didn't get to sell mine just because I can't pick mine up. But whatever. When pairs start to come in, we're going to see, I think, even more of a little bit of a drop. So yeah, that's one that I know a lot of people are really thinking about holding. I saw a lot of questions, and I just don't like it. like I said on the stream, it looks like they put the Jordan 3 on Nike ID, and basically you just got to change the mid panel on an all white shoe. So that's what I thought. Yeah.
I think that's a great point. And you look at this, and it's looked like they mashed up leftover Tinkers and Denim 3s to make this. And you can see the quality is all right on the leather and the tongue, but it's a shoe that now, like, the bid depth is starting to fill in a little on StockX. So it may not drop as much as we initially said last week, but it's still not a shoe that any of us felt comfortable holding, given just like the simplicity and just kind of boringness of the look. And there really wasn't a lot of energy going in. Like, if you go look at the clothing is the winner. Like, that Jordan with the fragment logo on the front is like a great piece.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk, like, that's just something we missed, is discussing that hoodie. And now it's retail 110, a large is 290.
Yeah. The fragment clothes, and it's interesting too that piece turned out like that. I mean, I think a lot of people saw the Tinker Ugly 3 wannabe, whatever this thing is, coming. I don't know. If you thought that this is a buy and a hold or anything, you definitely need to hit that subscribe button for $20 a month. But I mean, this was clearly going to catapult. But Brandon, man, I wish we had that video, because I think we weren't high on it. I mean, we were definitely thought the price was going down, but Brandon had another level of negative on it on the live stream. He was just he was undercutting our under.
It's not often the market price of a sneaker that I call goes down $900 in the span of 3 days, but look, if you could have shorted sneakers, I would have been all over that one. So,
100%.
All right, Smurf, what's the word? We got Ian in here?
We do have the one and only iDog in our presence.
Nice, nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Good to see you guys.
Hey, nice to have you again,
Good to
Ian.
be back. Sorry I have no headphones on, just out and about today, so don't have the headphones, but I'm still here to talk.
No, appreciate it. View, nice view.
Thank you.
For sure.
What's the weather like out there? It looks pretty.
80 and sunny, a little game day. It's a good day to have a day.
Nice.
Sure.
What's up?
Just so you guys know, Ian's one of the guys that has been on our weekly live streams multiple times. So one of the people that you could expect to find, I guess, any random week. So, always great when he's here. A lot of insight from him that we've been using both behind the scenes and on the stream. So yeah, definitely great to see him today. And wait, wasn't there like a Galaxy giveaway that we were doing?
We can.
Key. I heard about that.
Ian, do you want to guess a number? Here, let's pull up the tweet.
Pull it up, because let's give it away right now. We could have Ian, do whatever he'd like to do, and
Guess the number.
Perhaps
Is that what Papa
guess the
said? I like
perhaps
that
guess
idea.
the number between 1 and 527.
418.
That's actually I don't.
All the dome.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
all right, just pick a letter. Pick a letter and we'll go for the first letter we see of that name.
A.
Scroll up. Anthony. Oh, what? Oh,
Anthony.
Anthony McCauley. Oh my.
Is he following?
Is he following?
Oh my God! What a travesty that would be.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Hey, well, at least you guys know it's a legit giveaway.
Facts. All right. Ian, pick another letter.
B.
Bat Doom.
Is that Brandon's kicks? Oh, this is just.
I should have.
Yo, and you know what's funny? All these people are just trying to follow us now. I just got like a rush of people running to go follow. All right, so we'll do this until we can pick a legit winner, and then we'll get to more guests.
Nick's on? We're gonna got another guest coming anyways. Nick coming on the way too.
Nick is definitely in the way. On the way.
Nice.
Here.
We're gonna. Nick, there he is. What is up, my man?
Hey.
Hey guys, what's up? Sorry, I had weird issues with Chrome. Like it would not accept my camera and microphone.
Oh,
No,
no
you're good.
problem, man. How's it going?
Good, guys. How's everybody?
Good. Finding
Looks
some.
like Matt disappeared.
We
What's
did
up?
lose Matt. We are giving away a Galaxy key right now, and got a bunch of non-followers who are losing
Yeah, you
out.
guys are. This is going well.
Could you please give us a letter? Just a random letter.
This, how about that guy? Sold My Souls right there. How we picked that one? I like that ass. Let's pick that. Let's see.
Oh my! I didn't think it'd take this long to pick a winner. If I'm going to be completely honest.
I mean, wow, bunch of an indictment on the education system right here.
Wow, this is really.
It's just a simple read the directions.
I mean, we're trying. I mean, like this is just like people fumbling the bag left and right.
Trying to give away money. Can't give away money. Go with, well, we already did that. Keep scrolling.
Go
Stop.
into the mentions.
Aang Yu. Go to Aang Yu. That's a good one. See if Aang Yu's got a follower up top.
Has to be. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go.
Hey!
Thank you for the win.
Aang Yu for the
Oh my
win. DM, you are the winner.
God.
Wow. Hard to give that away. Okay.
That was like pulling teeth. I've never. Oh my God! I've never seen so many people not want to get a free copy of a $2,000 bot. But okay.
All right, so now we got a good panel going. What do you guys? We've seen some interesting action with this guava, guys. Like, I mean, it started off high, it popped down like we thought it would, and we've now seen some strong resistance, little bounce backs, some more seeding. I think you guys saw I don't know if some of y'all saw the Kylie Jenner post. So what's y'all's thoughts on this? We got some interesting stuff going on with the shoe, I feel like.
I mean, I think every union is always going to go up in value, no matter what. Like the fan base for that store is just it's just so big that no matter what happens, I think over time it will go up. So if you want to put money in just like a safekeeping type item, but I don't know if it's going to get immediate returns. That's kind of my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Maybe like a long-term type thing.
Yeah. I like that.
Nick, what do you think about in the next 6 months? Let's go next 4 months.
Well, I think it's interesting. I think there's value in it, but I think we could see a little dip with like the worldwide release happening, like especially with retailers and Nike and everything. I think we could see like another dip down in, and that's where I'd buy in. But I did see some like weird action on like I think I want to say black pairs like yesterday and the day before. They were getting like cheap. Like maybe it was small sizes down into like the high 500s, and I was like, that's really, really bizarre. But I think the shoe like right now could be undervalued and ultimately will be undervalued in the next like I would say like 2 weeks after the worldwide release.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that black on the Union ones, 13 was one of the biggest sizes or one of the best sizes, and 13 I bought one on StockX yesterday for 700. And even after worldwide release and everything, 13, you're looking at 14 is 850, 12 and a half 900, 11 and a half 950. 13 should not be that cheap.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. I think on a lot of these type shoes, though, Gloss, you've been higher on sniping those bigger sizes, right?
For sure. Well, and we've talked about it for a year
you
now.
You were willing to do that with
trend,
Off-White, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. And the trend has shifted back where it's in true demand now versus where they're doing allocations. And since Asia has exited the market from where they were last year when small sizes were going crazy, then that's where now you're seeing it. You're seeing that in Jordan 1s where some bigger sizes are doing better than smaller size, or a 12 is the same as an 8 or whatever it is. And here, the fact that a 13 is the cheapest in this shoe just seems really undervalued, especially when you look at Guava, which even though there are more pairs, 13 is one of the best sizes. So it seems like an inefficiency there for sure.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all, and that's a big statistical variance, especially when you're comparing to Guava. Like, I don't expect Sneakers Drop to come out here and flood the market with 13s. So, like,
no, for sure. And something we talked about this week on the stream with the black ones is by the time that they release, it's not like think about the Fragment this week. How difficult that shoe was for anybody to get. The black Unions, when they drop August 15th, are going to be the same way. So if anything, it might end up increasing the value at the worldwide release because then people might be holding out now thinking they have a chance at the black one, and then they realize that they don't, and then the price skyrockets. Because that's what happened with the Union ones last time, the black ones. They went up in price because people thought they had a chance, and they never did.
Yeah.
Definitely. What else? What other sneaker do you want to talk about? We got
we mentioned we'd talk about these.
Good call.
These are an interesting shoe. I mean, they're a very interesting shoe to watch from a price action standpoint because you have some really good comps, but at the same time, you know, are they really like an Alva? I mean, what kind of long-term price action are we seeing now? I feel like one of my favorite comp for this shoe, and we've talked about on stream, was the Clouds from last year at this timeline. We really liked the Cloud V2s from last year at this timeline, and part of it was we felt it was a great Christmas shoe. It had a lot of demand off the bat. It did crazy numbers off the Asian apps. I don't remember, Matt, if you remember us looking at those. I mean, they did like 90-some thousand pairs sold like in the first week. It was a high-volume shoe. You're seeing some high volume with this shoe as well. We know demand's high. We know it's a like shoe. But at the same time, we've seen some interesting semi-flat action with the 700 V3. So what are you guys thinking about that?
Let's get Matt. Matt, what do you think about it? I feel like we haven't heard you.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good shoe. It's really clean and stuff. But as Gloss mentioned in the past stream, there's going to be a ton of V3s coming out, and cheaper alternatives are always the move. So I don't see that much long-term growth, but it's a solid color just to keep in the stash, especially if you have a kind of like local consignment or consignment stores in general.
Yeah, that's a great point. What your consignment stores? What are you seeing out of those, Gloss? Speaking to that point,
I mean, I sold one today for 500 cash, so they're selling for well above online prices right now. It's just because we talk about substitutes all the time, and the fact that it's a cheaper option compared to an Azale. It's half the price. You could still find that upcharge value here. And it's great. But again, with the long-term viability, when the next color comes out and it starts $20, $30 cheaper than this one, are people going to care about the blue one that much as compared to whatever the next color is?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it's kind of why I like the comparison with the Cloud, because it's very similar, right? Like, we knew Yeezy's going to pump out a lot more colorways. And past Christmas, how many people are really going to be buying like a light blue shoe? I mean, they do it with Jordans all the time for spring wear, but we don't have any comps really for that with Yeezy. I mean, this is arguably one of the most blue Yeezys we've ever seen, right? I mean,
I think it's the best blue on any Yeezy.
Yeah. What do you think long term about this, Nick?
Yeah, I think they're like a little undervalued right now, but like you guys said, I think like long term, I think it'll go up a little bit, but I wouldn't like count on these like increasing exponentially without something like crazy happening. I think for one thing, honestly, when I saw pictures of these, I was like, these are sick. I got them in person and I was actually underwhelmed. I don't know how anyone else felt, but I felt like it was like a very artificial looking shoe. And I don't know, the images like look better than the actual shoe. So I was like a little disappointed in that fact. And then again, like we have more 700 V3s coming out. More people are like finally getting their pairs. Like they're just going to look for a cheaper solution. I think Elvas are a better shoe, even though it's a completely different model and it's black. And obviously Azales are in a totally different ballpark.
For sure. Nick, real quick. I responded to it. I saw you tweeted last night. Selling tab turned into buying tab. So can you just like kind of go into that a little bit, because I feel the same way. Yeah, but I wonder if our reasoning is similar or it's completely different logic.
So there's a couple things mixed with that, and I think like for what Gloss said, I started buying on StockX more than I sell now. I think there's a couple factors here, but I think the biggest is like StockX is the cheapest market to buy on. Like obviously you can like meet up with people in person and stuff like that. But like as far as like buying like single SKUs, putting in your bids, having like all your markets kind of set, being like I'm comfortable paying this price, I think StockX is like the best solution for that. And there's a couple things like it's going to lead into like it's typically like with most shoes, it's the cheapest platform to buy on. And I think there's like so many factors as far as like ease of access, instant payouts. If like you have a first time seller, it's way easier to sell on StockX than any other platform. And I just have been finding like there's great arbitrage in StockX as far as like buying just cheap stuff like all over the place. And then there's also like you can find like the arbitrage in markets, whereas like there's something that's cheap on StockX where like I can move it instantly somewhere else for like more, or I'm just like gathering inventory for holiday season in Q4 because I know shoes will go up like at least 20% just during that season.
For sure. And we talk about a lot on the stream is there is such value in finding shoes that you like long term that there's a huge gap between bids and asks. And just throwing in those bids, and if they never get taken, they never get taken. But if you look back and like you get a desert boot for $303 last week, that the highest bid is already at $400. When it comes in, if it's authentic, I can flip it right back on StockX and make 30% instant. And I was just throwing a bid in there for fun.
Yeah, there's a huge gaps between asks and bids sometimes, and when you find those, it's really advantageous to just throw in a bid because like you're not risking anything. It's not like it's a binding bid that's going to authorize a payment if you're worried about that.
Right, and you're putting that bid in because you feel confident in that price.
Yep. Yeah, and you know that's what you're going to pay, and you know there's more value either going forth or there's already more value if the bid gets accepted, and there's just a huge spread.
Yeah. For sure.
We talked a little bit about the shoes and our reasoning behind some of these releases, and might have another shoe or two to talk about. But I'm kind of curious, and I think a lot of people would like to hear. What are your guys' thoughts on the current state of the market, where we're at right now? We've been, and what we see coming up, for this Christmas buying season. I know as a group, you guys are talking about, buy. We've been kind of adjusting the way we've been making calls and kind of looking for, like what Nick is saying, is just setting the prices that you're comfortable with as opposed to, really chasing pairs for acquisition needs. What are your guys' thoughts on the market right now? Where do you see it going? I mean, we can start with Matt, if you want, and then just go from there. What are your plan, for this Christmas season, and how do you view buying and selling right now?
Yeah, lately, so going into quarantine, everything was moving. GR Jordans, every single shoe was a must, as many as you can get. But once stimulus kind of cut, and those $600 unemployment's cut, you saw a drastic change like the GRs dropping dramatically, and no longer those $50 easy dollars per. So it's kind of switched a lot for me, going with holds being these lower, cheaper shoes like lows and mids. Just because I think that going into those Christmas holiday season, there's going to be huge kind of demand for any shoe that they can get without the highest kind of cost in general. So holding a lot of mids, holding a lot of lows, always classics with the Yeezys and stuff just to have them as fillers at a lot of consignment stores. But market right now is a little dry, so kind of like scouring around.
Matt, are you worried at all with the fact that it seems to hold lows and mids right now is the hot thing? Are you worried that with everybody holding the same colors and the same sizes that you might see that slower growth than you anticipate because somebody who's holding 100 pairs who needs to pay back a credit card in a month or 2 months, they dump all their pairs right when the market goes up $5 or $10 and then it slows out and everything like that?
Yeah, that coupled with kind of like the sporadic releases of these lows and mids is always a pain in the ass, but it's something that you just kind of like get used to, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think the holiday season, and now that I'm back to 10 out of 10 network connections, so we'll see how that goes. But I think holiday season's like one of the best times where you could go for where you can go for like a substitute theory where people might not want to go drop 1,500 on a Chicago 1, but they'll gladly drop 250 on a Chicago toe mid or a white heel mid. So as you saw on the call from the BSH webhook, if you're any groups that have that integrated, that's one where it's just such a cheap sneaker in comparison to what it could be, where fast forward, 2-3 months to Christmas, and that's one that for sure is just going to be moving like crazy. So as far as my selling strategy, it's always been like accumulate as much inventory as you could afford of things that are likely going to be like good holiday season sellers. And that's That's one that's at the top of my list. I have like 50 of those. I have a 50 of the Chicago toe black, the black toe ones, and I'm really happy with the growth up until now. But I think give it 2 months and that type of sneaker, again, yeah, it's a GR, it's a brick, blah blah blah. That one's going to be one that really kind of pops a little bit, and we're going to see some nice action out of that one. So
that's right.
Yeah.
What are you rolling with, Klaus?
My kind of just my bread and butter continues to be Yeezys. I don't sell it. I love the substitute idea about the Chicago toe and the white heel. But for me, it's just keeping the bread and butter. Whatever those hot releases that come out, grab them for clients, grab them who needs, and then stack up on Yeezys, because regardless, Yeezy still reigns supreme here. And having a ton of 350 options and having 700 options, MNBN, whatever it is still going to be what people ask about the most. And as I mentioned before, and I mentioned a bunch, I tried, it might have gotten too late, but I tried to buy as many desert boots as I could. And I think that one is going to just bang over the next couple months, because you see there's big spreads on asks and bids, but then somebody needs it, and then the bid flies right back up, and you already have arbitrage there. And it doesn't seem like there are any coming.
Yeah. No, I think one of the things we've been pushing in BSH was we were really heavy on some investments in May, going through July and August. We had our eyes set on 2 target periods based on that, and that was a second round of stimulus, and that was Christmas season. Second round of stimulus hasn't materialized, and we've talked a lot about on our streams how that kind of is getting to the time point where we think a lot of the slowdown in the market right now is, and if you're selling a lot right now, there is slowdown in the market, and it's based around people are at the point financially, just in real life, that they're either going to get help from the government or they're just saving all their money until Christmas, and they're going to make it a great Christmas season, and they'll start spending. If they're going to spend now, it's spending for Christmas. So that's priced in Christmas sales. So, that's that first sell target didn't materialize for us, and we're seeing, that's why we're seeing the lull we're at. I think that adds fuel to this winter. I think it adds fuel to this Christmas season. I think it's really important for people to understand that anybody in this United States who was uncomfortable spending money online is now not post-COVID. They bought something off Amazon, I'll guarantee it, during all this stuff going on. And so once that happened, now that threshold's broken. Anybody else, now they feel a lot more comfortable with this Christmas. We don't know what's going to hold this Christmas, regardless of, where you stand on what's going on with, the COVID stuff and whatnot. We could have a horrendous flu season, and then people are just literally scared to go out places. And I think it's going to be a prime season for online sales to take place. We've been kind of, guiding our members towards those investment periods. So for us as a group, we're pretty high on that. I would say. You guys agree with that?
Yeah. Well, and one thing to note,
I think that's the target time.
Yeah. Well, spending has come up in the last week as well, because unemployment is in certain states, and I've noticed it a direct spend. Today, meeting up with people was my busiest day in like 2 months.
Nice. Good.
And it could be a combination of things, but just the fact that there's now money flowing again, there might be some rises in different states or different cities or StockX or whatever. So it'll be interesting to note the next 2 or 3 weeks to see if you see that on some recent releases.
Yeah, that's a good point. Local help coming in, some local government help, some state government help. I mean, it speaks to what we're saying, about how important the government help is for our industry during this particular buying period. I don't think it matters during Christmas period. I think people are going to be spinning their rear ends off. They had a really shitty year. They want to make this Christmas count. Hell, they might not even seen a lot of their family, and they're fed up with it. They're going to have gatherings. They're going to be sharing. I mean, this is just how I view it. And I think we might see some really great sales from that. Hopefully, got a lot of inventory for it. So, where are we going to move on to next? We got another shoe to cover, or what?
Yo, anyone feeling another giveaway right now?
Yeah,
I think we should go to a giveaway.
Do it.
So I guess anyone watching right now, let's do it this way. You'll have to watch the stream to know the answer to this because we'll tell you the answer on the stream. So, Smurf, you want to go? Let's give away a Supreme Dunk right now. Any size, 8 to 13 of the red pair, whichever size you'd like. We'll just go out and buy it for you, or if we have it, we'll give it to you. Smurf, let's do it this way. Pull up our Twitter.
Yeah.
So everyone could go and see it. Right? And let's do the first person to respond back to us with what should get it.
Let's do it this way, so that we know they're watching the stream.
Let's just do the first person to respond back to our tweet with hashtag BSH Live, and we'll put the tweet up right now. First one to go.
Make it more unique. Make it more unique.
No. The first person to DM me. Let's see. DM me Supreme 123. My Twitter's Papa_Smurf343. First person who does it gets it.
Oh, man,
All
put
right,
his DMs in shambles. Let's see what's about to happen.
Yeah. Screen share.
Yep. Getting it up now. So.
We'll do something like that for the next one. For the proxy giveaway, just because that way it's easy.
Yeah.
All right, twitter.com.
Oh.
You're gonna go to your messages
Oh my goodness.
and you're gonna go. Oh my god.
Goodness.
That's
All
like
right.
if you requested a graphic designer. That's like
Supreme Chrome Souls, it looks like.
all right. Oh, 20. Who is that? Chrome.
No, it looks like the other person above him was 22 seconds though, right? Or
No,
am I
because
reading this wrong?
it's backwards. So it's the further the
okay.
better.
All right. Winner.
All right,
Winner.
Congrats. Supreme
Congrats.
Dunk.
We'll send you.
We'll have another
send
giveaway.
You sizing options later.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll have another giveaway in about like 15 minutes or so. Shaf, get the hell out of his DMs.
Get that. Shop coming in.
All right.
Good giveaway.
So,
Good giveaway. Was that
how
all
about those
she's
Lightning 4s, though?
Oh.
What?
Lightning
So-
No, I
Fours?
just felt like mentioning that. All right.
100%. Should we have Dev give us a quick brick update and then move on to our interview?
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah,
Dev,
And there he
welcome.
is.
Yeah.
What's up, Dev?
All right, Dev, let me ask you this question. Besides any Chicago toe sneaker, right, any Chicago mid, what's your number one target for December 25th? So holidays, all that.
Game Rolos.
Game Royal
Why?
Lows. Well, you heard it straight from the source.
Men's or grade school?
Cool.
Grade school. What's your buy-in point in terms of not price, but like, do you feel like the buy-in point right now on the grade schools is going to have a much higher growth?
I haven't checked prices.
Yeah.
Let's check real quick. So they're what?
Should we introduce?
Two.
Yep. Sorry.
Maybe in the 130 to 170 range. So buy-in point would be around, depending on the size, they'd be from around 140 to 160 is what I cap it at.
Yeah.
And I could see this at 200 or 220 by Christmas time.
Do it. Like it. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, Dev. We got Dev. He's the head of our brick calls, guys. He does a lot of research. Really gets a lot of lower key releases that we miss, and takes care of that aspect for our group. So you can kind of always count on him to throw some updates and keep the research going. He's really good at it. So appreciate you coming on, Dev, and showing us some of that. And we'll see you in the chat. All right. So,
All right.
I think Papa's muted. You muted, Papa? Oh, who's
Whoa.
this? Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Oh. Don't hear him. Don't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
We can hear
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Everyone?
AKA. Glad to see you, sir. How you doing?
Good. I haven't been on a video chat in a while.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Last time I saw you, I think you were in your quarantine spot, maybe. Is that right? Or somewhere in Cali, somewhere doing something.
I moved quarantine spots. I'm still like pretty close to where I was, but yeah, I like moved back to California for the quarantine, and it's nice. I was in Boston before that.
That's all right. So for those of you who don't know, we've got AKA on here. He's the head dev for Rush AIO. Very excited to have you on here. I'm super excited to hear some of your story, and I know me and you have talked in the past about different things when you were getting started, and your views on the whole sneaker market and how the role the bots play, and in acquisition. We've seen you guys just come right in and shake the industry up. Not even from a buying standpoint, you guys are obviously doing great from a buying standpoint, but just from other aspects, the design of the structure of your model, the pricing, and some other really cool stuff. So looking forward to hearing that, and man, can't tell you how excited we are to have you join us.
Yeah, thanks. I'm happy to be here.
So when you decided to do this, what were you into at that point? I mean, obviously you weren't making bots for other people and into the sneaker industry and doing that stuff. What was your background at that point and where you were at?
Well, I was a employed full-time software engineer, and I was working remotely. So before the quarantine, so it sort of just was an easy transition, and also Rush is a remote project, so it was pretty easy to transition into the work style. And so I was employed, and then I left my job in May to do Rush full time.
So was that something I mean, I think with your background, you enjoy just creating and working on your own, kind of, right? Like, is that natural transition for you more so?
Yeah. I've always kind of just wanted to do sort of my own projects. And I mean, I've been involved in software and internet business for over 10 years. So before I was probably last four of that were employment. And then before that, it was just projects here and there, some of them profitable, some of them not, some of them not intended to be profitable, but yeah, I really like, making stuff on the computer and, just doing stuff on the internet. Yeah.
You did that. I think.
Oh,
go ahead. No, go ahead, Gloss. Get another question in there.
AK, thanks for coming on.
Of course. Yeah.
So my question would be is how did you make the transition, but what caught your eye into getting into this world to build, and maybe specifically how you came up with the idea of doing Rush and that being your project, and maybe even going into the specifics of why you went CLI versus a graphic interface, maybe even if some of the specifics for people who may not know, since there's now so many different types of bots out there and some are harder to use or focus more on the back end or the front end or whatever it is.
Yeah. So I guess I got into Rush because Matt took me to lunch in January, and he told me that.
Where'd you go?
I went to an Indian buffet in Boston. Near MIT. Yeah. I'm not related. I'm not affiliated with MIT, but that sort of area. And then Matt, I sat down with Matt, sat down with Mark. And who's the other Rush owner, and we Mark took out his laptop and he showed me the sneaker bots, and they're like, we want to make one. We've wanted to make one for a year and a half, but we haven't been able to find a developer. And I already done development work with a family member of Matt's, and that's how we know each other. And I already had a very successful business venture involving Matt's family, and I knew that Matt had been reselling for 10 years, so I knew he was an expert, right? I remember hearing, I was friends with his family for a while. I remember hearing 10 years ago, Matt, was driving to like sell shit on Craigslist, you know. He's not sound like he's like, and he brought back cash, and he's got like all these $100 bills, you know. He's in like middle school, you know. So Matt's an OG, and because I was new to all of this, you know, I was really happy to work with him and Mark, who are just like, they really know the game, and they're able to answer all my questions, like get me up to speed really quickly. What attracted me to like the idea on, I don't know, like on another level is it's a huge software industry. They also not only showed me like the bots, and you know, I didn't know this category of bots existed. I've worked with bots a lot before, but this was new to me. But it was like I didn't know this whole hidden niche of like, it's like a big market, right? It's a big software market, and I saw the software that was out there, and I just knew that with in not too much time, like I knew that I could make something and ship something in a matter of months that would like meet or exceed like the standard in performance for what was already out there. So I instantly was like, wow, okay, profitable, like I can do it, like I know it, you know, I knew it from like the first day, like to do it. Like, why not, you know? And I could own my own business, you know, and like be self-employed. So, you know, I still had to feel it out. I still had to see what it was. So I wasn't sure if I was going to like go all in on it. You know, it was really just like a hobby side project. I made a browser bot in February. Okay. We made a UI for Rush, had like paid a designer, and I made a browser bot for Easy Supply. And like it worked, but I was like, I don't really like browsers, you know. I want to run like 2,000, you know, tasks on, you know, my laptop. I can't run 2,000 Chrome tabs on my MacBook. So
Sure.
Then we decided to make like a full checkout, you know, like a leaner bot. So yeah, that's how we ended up with like Rush as its first iteration. We decided on the CLI because I really just wanted to focus on performance, and I knew that already people were like dealing with spreadsheets and, you know, dealing with other things. And I was also deeply unsatisfied with the UIs of existing bots, and I knew that I didn't just want to copy it, you know. I didn't want to like just copy another like you know, standard bot UI. I knew if I wanted to do one, it takes more time, but the CLI gets us to where we need to be, which is like buying a lot of products. And it's really funny, actually. Like it's 2020, you know, like this is the only software niche in which we can like, you know, sell a software as a service product for $100 a month that, you know, is a command line for consumers. I mean, not really for consumers. Okay, I consider Rush like a business to business, you know, kind of thing. Like we're selling to independent small businesses and individuals.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of the lowdown of the initial design decisions and development.
I think it's really interesting too, that approach that you're talking about. How there's not any products I've heard talk about they're essentially contracting out their service to other small businesses, you know, like, and I think that's unique in itself. And I think it really brings a level of professionalism to the industry when you view it in that manner, as opposed of, you know, we drop a bot, we sell it for $200, we backdoor 5,000 copies for 5,000 a piece or whatever. Not that everybody does that, but you know, the whole concept of what we saw. This, I thought that your structure, while it was definitely, what's the word?
New and unique.
Disrupting is the word I was looking for. It's a definitely, yes, new and unique. But it's a disruptive technology almost, you know, like it's a disruptive pricing strategy. And a lot of people had a lot of opinions about it, but I think it's professional. I think it's got a lot of foresight built into it. And when you explain it in the manner that you do, you know, how you view it, I think that helps people align with where you're at. You know, you view it, from what I'm hearing, as you're offering a monthly service, and the product isn't necessarily the service. It's the maintenance, it's the upkeep, it's the, you know, continual updating of that product. Is that a correct way to describe it?
Yeah. I knew that the nature of this, operation was going to be that it's going to require a lot of maintenance, right? And so I knew that it's not like I'm, creating a piece of work that then goes out into the world and I never have to change it. I can just copy it and sell copies. Now, like, it takes work every day. I work harder on this than I have on anything in my life. But it just kind of takes it out of me. It's a good alignment. But yeah. So in terms of, like the pricing strategy, just wanted to have, I wanted to have the income in order to, motivate and support the team and grow a business. All the other bot devs, the reason they do like continue like backdoor copies, through marketplaces and stuff is I think in part because they didn't make the choice to do renewal at a high enough price or a frequent enough interval and still want the cash. So then they like just do that. And I just thought like, okay, let's try to have a more, appropriate, front door pricing. And, as a result, we're not like, like shipping copies, out the back door for inflated prices at the same scale. So I think it works out, and it's high price, but every day I remind myself that the goal of every every month, let's say, is to, if I have 500 subscribers, I need to make them back way more than $50,000 a month, because that's what they're paying to me. And I know there's an element of hype to the bot in that, like, a lot of people just hold the bot and don't run. It's very rare that we see more than 40, 50% of the user base run on a drop. Like today, we have around 700 subscribers at the moment, and I think maybe 40 people tops ran this morning. And I know it's a brick drop, but it's like, so.
That's interesting. It adds another dynamic. Did you expect that? I mean, we are aware of that, from our, understanding of our industry. Was that a big surprise to you?
No, I think the nature, it's not a product that you expect like everyone to want to use all the time. It's not that class of software product. It's not Instagram. It's it's a tool for like specific jobs. It's supposed to do it very well, but sort of sparsely in time. So no, I don't think I was too surprised, but I am also, I guess the biggest surprise related to that is just I'm kind of marveling at how, look, we're enforcing the scarcity on the product, and I'm surprised at how many people consider bots an investment asset. I would say it's odd to me that like software becomes an investment asset, but it's just due to the nature of how we've set this up. I would love to be able to sell this product to everyone and have everyone have success, but we're all competing. We're competing in a zero-sum game. And so more people running Rush means, fewer success for everyone overall, which doesn't matter too much due to the, not everyone runs point. But I think that's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
All right. So I got a couple questions one, I know you mentioned earlier about how different bots work and everything. So in either doing it now or in leading up to building Rush, did you use, just to test and see how they work, did you use other bots? And if so, is there, for getting success on it, is there one bot that you can point to that isn't Rush that you think like are either doing a good job with their pricing structure, their success rate, their CLIG, whatever it is? Is there one bot that you can think of that you're like, all right, that bot is, not even if it's competition or not, maybe it's a supreme bot that you guys have no like different. You guys aren't competing for the same product, but is there one bot that you can think of that you would point to? And then the second question is, in botting overall, do you have any? We saw this week about people getting mad about the chips and the PlayStations about bots taking them up. And I saw in PA a senator tried to put through a Grinch bot act.
Grinch bot state level though. There's Grinch bot federal level. Yeah.
Right. So I guess the one part is about other bots in the space, and then the second question is, do you have any sort of concern, whether it be short term or long term, that the botting of sneakers may go the way of botting of tickets, where it becomes or maybe just all of the goods we do, where in 2-3 years it's like tickets, where it's considered illegal to bot, and it's just a completely different game.
Yeah, so, I assume, okay, I guess we'll roll back. Okay, other bots, I would say, okay, first, when Matt and Mark sat down with me in January, I think we just used, like, Galaxio and then looked at screenshots of Cyber, I think. That was my first impression. And then the first bot I actually used myself, I think in March, I ran Splash Force, because the first site we wanted to hit was Easy Supply. And so I just, ran it, saw how it, I look at the statuses, I see how it, this looks like what a human would do, First thing I had to parse out was like, okay, is the best strategy just to mimic humans, or should we be, are people always using tricks and stuff? Like, do I need to have tricks and superhuman tricks, in order to see success? And that I didn't see that observing Splash Force, so I just decided to kind of make everything mimic humans, but lots of them. Can you repeat the second part of your question?
So the second part of the question, I know it was a lot at once, but I just keep thinking of questions as you're talking.
Yeah, sure thing.
I find the whole thing fascinating as someone who myself.
Oh, it was the legality. The legality.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Do I think it'll happen? I don't see it happening at the moment. I think the reason Ticketmaster, I believe Ticketmaster lobbied a lot, in order to have that happen. And I don't really see the motive for this. I think, botting is much bigger than sneakers. It's okay. There's a lot more interested parties, but I think there are enough people that would be hurt by it that, perhaps if there was a more blanket law, it would have pushback from, say, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, or, there's these sort of I think the implications for the internet, if you were trying to ban botting, to write that law, I think the implications for the internet would be really bad. And I think it would hurt a lot of other businesses that have legitimate uses for this kind of stuff. So I think it'd be hard to write the law without having a lot of bad consequences. I don't quite see it happening yet. I think that it's, most of the case law, when you read about using automated programs to interact with the internet, it's usually about scraping, So for instance, there is a case, Craigslist sued a website that was copying listings and reformatting them as, their own brand. There was a similar one against LinkedIn, was had someone scraping their website using bots and defeating their anti-bot and stuff, and trying to scrape them. In both those cases, as far as I understand it, if I recall correctly, showed that it ruled in the scraper's favor, basically. Gotcha. And so there's no, I don't see any issues coming up. But as bots become, the public becomes more aware of them, or if people get mad enough, then maybe something would happen. I don't know if there needs to be some big catalyst incident. It seems that this year we had the Switch, right? And Switch was out of stock, and maybe that got an article, and now we have these releases, the cards and PS5. But it always, whenever this comes around, it seems to be like, okay, like some news website, like one posts an article about it, just because it's kind of like an interesting, like, look at this piece, and then it kind of fades away. Like it's not something that people are organizing around. So certainly it's not. I don't think this will come from the people up. In terms of opposition.
Legality aside, like from an anti-bot perspective, what's your perspective in terms of how that's been developing? Because I know that's a game of cat and mouse, and I've been around botting for quite a while, so I've seen really big changes in terms of the defenses and how much different companies are putting into it. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about that outside of the legal perspective.
They're getting okay, but like at the end of the day, look, if you use a web browser, there's no way they can, detect you well. Humans act like bots, So in terms of even like generating human-like activity, if that becomes a more important part of the game, like humans already act like bots, like especially on their phones,
Yeah.
I vastly prefer to simulate phones over PCs because there's less information that they can use to detect you. So yeah, I would say that part of it I think is covered in terms of like the real nitty gritty technical stuff. It's getting cool. They're doing like cool techniques, but like, look, a lot of us developers know how it all works. We know, we've run websites ourselves. We know all of the things that they can look at, all the signatures that a human using a web browser leaves and needs to represent and announce to the website. And there's like no way you can, prevent people from spoofing that. So I would say in terms of like the anti-bot at a technical level, not worried. It's going to get harder, but I think it's just going to, I'm not worried. I know there's, from a technical perspective, there's nothing they can really do to keep me out. CAPTCHA, I think, is going to evolve more. Okay, so I got my reCAPTCHA shirt up there from Supreme, and because I'm going to start working a lot on the CAPTCHA. And here's the thing: is like, you think a computer can know what where the traffic lights are? Like, it can, because we have self-driving cars today. And they have to do that really accurately, and they do. And they do that using the products of public academic research and open source projects that are available to me too. There's nothing special about that. Most of the stuff I need in order to find traffic lights is open. So I would say CAPTCHA, once I make the perfect solution to reCAPTCHA v2, perhaps they'll need to make it harder, because look, it's supposed to, what quick thing can you have a human do that a computer can't do today? I don't know. So the cat and mouse game, I think, will. I'm most interested in if CAPTCHA evolves, I think we're going to need new techniques that are way different. If the sites are going to want to really like hammer down on this, they're going to need like new techniques that are quite different than what we see today.
Yeah, that was a great answer.
Yeah, it was really good answer.
Yeah, so it kind of transitions back to what you were saying. And well, one thing that was interesting is that you have a Supreme T back there, and that's something that Rush currently doesn't support. And is that something that you plan to do in the future? But more importantly, on a separate note, because putting everything together, how have your interest in streetwear changed since you started? Like, are you buying anything personal now? Clothing, shoes, art, whatever? Is there something that you're into, or are you becoming a hype beast?
I think I buy the. I don't think I'm becoming a hype beast. It's a little odd that I'm not going outside much right now, so I can't even. No one really sees my feet except for like my girlfriend. So there's not, I think I'll be buying more once to go out, but I do get like, some of the releases. Like, I don't know, my favorite purchase, the most meaningful one was the Nike Fear of God Triple Blacks in April, because like we added Instagram to Rush. And like I added in like a day, and it worked the same day, and we were like the only people to get those shoes off that platform, so it was good.
Right. So have you worn them yet, the Fear of Gods, or are they in a display
after they
case?
came in,
Okay.
I'm usually a night owl, and so I remember when I'm like a badass like night walk in them or something, you kind of feel, I don't know, you feel like a video game character in those.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite releases in the last couple of years, the Fear of Gods, for sure.
That's cool.
A great choice.
All right.
All right. So, what's next? What's the plan?
We got a graphic, Papa, that we're gonna throw up here. I think AKA's got a important number.
Yeah. Okay.
We've programmed it, man. We've programmed it all for you, so you can just sit back and watch. So.
Oh, you got it? Oh my God. You're asking me.
Text "Feel the Rush" to 916-602-3269. If you're on the stream, you're a lucky guy. You got an opportunity. Maybe a girl. Sorry, I don't mean to be assuming we only have men watching us. We definitely got a lot of ladies in this field who are doing very well. So, male or female, check it out. Get your entries in. Chance to get your hands on the hottest product literally on the market right now. I think if you guys have been paying attention to AKA talk, I think his quality comes through in the way he presents himself, the ideas. It's clear that they're building a meaningful product and a product that matters. I am a non-bot user before I started using Rush, and it's been one of the easier things for me to pick up when I putting time into it, and a lot of that's due to the hard work these guys have put in. So make sure and send those entries in.
Yeah, so I closed the number, because I'm paying for those SMSs too. I paid like a few cents for each of the 50 ones that I let in or so. So,
nice.
All right. Man, hey, this one's from the phone's registered at my hometown, but they sent me "Yo" instead of "Feel the Rush."
No, that's not it.
Wow. People are fumbling the bag today.
Stick.
Okay, yeah. So the first one from Arlington, Virginia. I will be selecting you. And we're going to do a second copy, okay? Second copy. From Cleveland. From Cleveland. And the Cleveland entry is better because they didn't capitalize the F in Feel the Rush. There we go. Okay.
Congrats, Smurf.
2 out of 2.
Hey, thank you guys. That's really kind of you guys to do that. But anyways, it was
appreciated.
Really cool, man, to have
really
you on here and hear your questions and hear your answers to these questions. And I don't think enough people in this community get to have this experience. And I hope, I know you guys have a big following, and I hope the following was able to get up here and take advantage of this opportunity. I mean, one of the things we talk about in our group, we do a weekly live stream, and one of the reasons we do it is because we felt a big responsibility to put a face on our product and to let people know in this world of internet, what it is they're paying for, who the people are that they're doing business with. And I think, this is a great opportunity for, people who have been following Rush and following, what you guys have been doing to really match a face to the product. And I think, you present it very well. So, appreciate you being on here and sharing your product and your time with us.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, and feel free to pop in anytime you want, man. We do it weekly.
Okay, yeah. When I have public service announcements. Yeah.
Welcome, or if you just want to flex your Fear of Gods, we can have you on to just
maybe if I'm really
All right, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So
All right. So
great.
what's left? That was a. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
that was a
sorry.
great
That was
interview.
like, and I was just sitting and listening to most of it because that's just like I don't know technical stuff of bots and things. So that interview to me was one of the better interviews I've seen. Period. So Coach Smurf, Gloss, Matt, like that was pretty great. So
For sure.
what do we
Something
still
I
have a
know very
giveaway
little
left,
about.
and yeah, no, all right. We still have a giveaway left and some more things. So Smurf, what's the story with that? What do we want to do? We
I
can
think
close it out.
first of all, thank you everybody for joining. It's been great. We just wanted to make a few announcements and then we'll end on a giveaway. First of all, for those of you who don't know, here, let me just put this up. You can join our group at dash.bshsnipers.com. Right now, we did a special promotion where your first 7 days are free, so you can sign up, join the group for 7 days, see if you like it or not, and then if you cancel before then, you're not charged and you're good to go. So we're going to close that off tonight. But for anybody interested in joining the group,
What's the monthly fee,
to have you.
Papa?
$20 a month. 20.
Yeah.
Wow,
And
that's
you
it?
see,
Oh,
yep. And you can see the advantages you get from being here just by this one stream. And we do this weekly, and we are always in the stream or in the group. We make calls and everything that follows with that.
And we got a really very strong mod team too. I want to mention them. You know, we're up here doing our thing, but we've got a strong mod team that has a lot of loyal guys that have been with us for we've been around for years, so we're not some new group. They do a lot of great work in the chat. They do a lot of great work in questions. They do, we've got some guys who do calls for us. We've got brick calls. We've got a lot of people working for us. And one thing to point out about that is they used to be members, and through their interaction, through their loyalty and just hard work, they've worked themselves into paid positions on our team. So, that's just how we operate. We're always looking to bring quality in, and I think this is a good opportunity. If you want to check it out, 7 free days. Why not check it out?
100%. Additionally, for any group owners that joined today, we offer webhooks of different kinds. So if you're interested at all, make sure to reach out to us. We love working with other groups. We love sending out our weekly calls, and we're excited to build that out to you guys. So just message us with any inquiries.
And just to add on to that too, that includes customization, meaning like we're well aware that our free webhook has a lot of BSH branding on it, and we offer stuff. If that's a problem with you, we offer stuff to where we can build out services that have your group branding in place of ours. Just kind of changing around the webhook, offering some various customization features that I think are good options for owners. Sorry to interrupt, Papa.
Nope, that's perfect. And then, does anybody have anything left before we do this last giveaway?
Do you want to open up a couple minutes for
100%.
quick Q&A?
100%.
So why don't you do the Q&A, or why don't we open it for Q&A? Why don't you do the giveaway, and then we can pick a couple. We'll answer like 4 or 5 questions.
All right.
100%. So the last giveaway is a 5 GB plan from SS Proxies. To claim, just the first person to reply to the tweet that's about to go out will win the copy. You have to reply with a BSH live.
with hashtag BSH.
Perfect.
Hashtag that works too. All right.
So hashtag BSH.
That was crazy. The amount of things that we kind of gave away today was,
2 rush copies.
BSH live. Either one works because of the confusion, but.
Holy moly!
That, and then
did
Galaxy actually
Galaxy copy?
Galaxy
I think they
restock
actually
is in the comments, and
did they really
in the chat? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even see that. Big thanks to those guys.
Congratulations to Christian Ross, which is, I'll message you right now, but you were the first person to reply. So, congrats.
Man, let's like I just said, big thanks to the Galaxy team. Big thanks to Ian. Big thanks to anybody who had a part in this. Obviously, Rush. Big thanks to you guys. I'm really appreciative of everybody who takes a part in us. We view ourselves as a supplement to the Seeker community, and we're happy to help everybody grow and improve. So,
really appreciate all the support that we've received today from all you guys. Not forgotten.
For sure. So
Thank you.
Yeah, without any
What
other
else? Is
questions.
that it?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
it.
unless, doesn't seem
All
like
right.
anybody has any questions or just.
I mean,
All right.
honestly,
covered
in
a
all
lot.
fairness, the chat is really
It
the
moves too
live stream
quickly.
chat is really not the place for questions right now.
Yeah.
No, not even that. They're just like I don't consider these questions. So
Yeah.
but yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, again, Smurf, if you want to flash the link to join again, if you want a 7-day free
Yes.
trial. A lot of people ask us about that. dash.bshsnipers.com. Yeah, hopefully we'll see you in the chat. We'll have some a stream at least next Wednesday, and we'll do that. So
See you guys in the
that's it
chat.
for me. If you guys want to
Yep.
say anything else,
See you guys in the chat.
pretty good.
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming on.
Good show, guys. Talk to you soon.
Yep.
Yes, sir.